Welcome to day 3 of the 10 by 10 by 10 challenge, or 10 appointments from 10 missed calls in just 10 days. So, recap: on day 1, we signed up, we started the free trial, we went through the wizard, and we got your AI receptionist about 80% done. Yesterday, on day 2, I taught you guys how to test your AI receptionist and how to configure it and how to make micro changes in that AI logic to make sure that it is correct. Now today, we're gonna split these up into 2 different sections for today. The first section, we're gonna get your AI voicemail set up and all the other things with your account set up, your notifications, everything like that. Then we're also going to talk about educating your team members, because AI voice can be a scary thing. A lot of your team members might think, I'm gonna lose my job, right? Or it's just a matter of time. And that's, might be the case. I don't know. It's your call, but that's not our goal, right? And we have a ton of customers. In fact, every single person who signed up that we know of and has used AI voice in their in their business, they actually have hired more people, right? And not let go of staff, because again, there's a lot that your staff is doing besides just answering the phones, right? So, we have to make sure that your team members don't feel like, oh crap, I'm gonna get let go, and they're gonna start looking for another job, right? We wanna make sure that your team feels very confident in your vision for incorporating Local Business Pro in your business, okay? So that's how we're gonna break it up today in those 2 different areas. Let's start by configuring the rest of your account. So if you're logged into Local Business Pro, I want you to head up to that Conversations tab, which that should be default where it's loaded, and I want you to go over to voicemail. Now you might be thinking, wait a minute, dude, you just told me we were getting rid of the voicemail. Yeah, we are, right? But what happens if you get a new card and you forget to log into Local Business Pro and update it? I don't want your customers to just hear crickets on the other side of the phone. So what we do instead is that if there's billing issues, if there are, it really is just billing issues, but if there's anything else that you guys want for any reason to turn on voicemail and not have the AI receptionist talk to it, this is a voicemail that's going to play, and it's kind of a backup of the AI voice receptionist so that you don't look bad to your customers if you forgot to update a credit card, right? So there's 2 ways you can do this. You can record a personal voice mail, or you can have the AI voice do it. So, hey, thanks for calling us at Local Business. Oh, sorry. This is my Pete's Pest Control account. Pete's Pest Control. We cannot pick up the phone right now. Okay, so I can sample it, or I'm just going to go ahead and save. So this is your voicemail. And so you can edit this, and in your AI voice, the one if you've selected Tim, this will play. So I can click save or sample it. For now, what I want to do is record a personal voice note. So I'm going to click on start recording. Hey, thanks for calling Pete's Pest Control. I'm sorry that we couldn't get to the phone. We'll call you guys back as quickly as we can, but if you could leave your name and your number and probably some details about what pest issue you're facing or how our team can help you, that would be awesome. Thanks so much. Okay, so I can do all of that. I can save it, edit it, all that fun stuff. But I have my voice message set really well. So I'm gonna head over, I'm just gonna leave that the way it is, but I wanted to make sure that you guys knew how to update it and how to set it on your side. So let's go over to the dashboard. So the dashboard, we've got some awesome things coming to this dashboard. But as of now, it really tells you your phone calls, the chats, and then kind of a graph over time of where you're at, so you can see trends in your business depending on how things are coming. We're coming out with a lot more information here. Really, really excited about it, but I won't spoil it, and I'll let it be a surprise as it comes out. Okay, so that's your dashboard. More is coming. Super excited for it. And we've already talked about the AI logic tab. Now let's go into the chat and call and chat setup. So this is the page where you can get your website chat widget to get it on your site, get it connected to your customers, and we're gonna go over this page in a couple of days. But for now, let's keep going down. So outbound calls. Local Business Pro can actually do outbound calls, and it can do them in the way of like appointment reminders, or when someone fills out a form on your website and you want to call them right away to make sure that you get them on the schedule, that can have that as well. However, because of United States laws, and again, not a lawyer, so that's not legal advice, but because of the US laws, it is actually illegal to do cold calls with AI. So you have to get consent first. And what that means is that if someone says, yeah, you can call me, then that's consent. That's awesome. But I can't call 1,000 people in my neighborhood and try to pitch them my service and just think that I'm going to have AI do it over and over again, because that looks a lot more like spam than adding value to your business and value to your customers as well. So with the outbound call request, we just want to know a little bit of why you're doing it and how you're doing it, so that we can make sure that if you're going to tie us together, that you're doing it in the correct way. And that way, if someone sues you because you accidentally called them and they're not on a do not call list or anything like that, that is your responsibility instead of ours. We want to give you guys the tools, but we don't want to babysit, right? So that is outbound call. If you think like, man, we have a really good use case for it, apply, right? That would be awesome. We'd love to do outbound calls with you. Okay, settings. Before we go into settings, actually, I'm going to come down to notifications. So notifications is just this nice slide out. Anytime there's notifications in your account, they're going to be in an email and they're going to be in here, okay? Knowledge Center, on the other hand, is going directly to our support, and we have a ton of articles. So if you guys, this 10 by 10 by 10 challenge is lacking anyway, let us know. We'd love to update it. But also, there's a ton of information in here, all different types of content here, right? And we want to make sure that you and your team know how to use Local Business Pro. So we built, and we're continuing to build out this knowledge center. Okay, now we're going to go into settings. So your account info. Anytime that you need to update your email or your password or anything like that, you're going to come to account info, first name and last name. Let me just put that in there. Click on update down there at the bottom. Billing information, exact same thing. If you guys need a new card on file, you just come here, put in that card. Any of your invoices, so this is one that I just started from the free trial. Your account should look the exact same, should show up here. Anytime you guys have a billing question, go grab your invoice link and send it over and say, hey, I have a question about this billing, right? This invoice ID is going to help us a ton. And then your plan, this is where you're able to hop down and change the amount of calls that you have. Now, I recommend do not do this right away, because when you do it, it actually is going to close your free trial and start you fresh, right? We close the account and start over when you change your billing. So we kind of have plans all the way from 22 calls all the way to 12,000 calls, and kind of like your monthly base. And then if you go over, right? So I'm on this like 250 plan right here at 145. Included, it comes down to like 71 cents a minute. But if I go over, it doubles to $1.45. So if you think you're going to be doing a lot of calls, take advantage how this cost per minute included goes lower and lower as you go higher, but so does your additional minutes. So take advantage of that increased upfront cost and save your business a ton of time and money in the long run, because you're actually going to be getting minutes for a lot cheaper on both the overage and the included minutes. Okay. So notifications, this is a super important part. So if I get a phone call and I want my office staff to know about it, put in their email here. So example, Keaton@localbusiness.pro. And then maybe I want another team member, so I'm going to click that plus button and I'm going to come into here and check mark is on or off. And maybe I'm going to do Ann@localbusiness.pro. Awesome. Now this webhook, if you guys are more advanced and you guys like technology, maybe using Zapier or Make.com or one of those, you can actually ping those with a webhook. And so every time a phone call happens, it's going to actually ping that webhook and send the entire conversation and everything over to that, so that you can get it more integrated in your systems however you'd like through webhooks, okay? So if you don't know what webhooks are, it's okay. It's complicated. Don't worry about it. If you do know what they are, awesome. Now you know you have them. Okay. Passwords, pretty simple, and integrations. So we're working on integrations all the time. For example, we're working on our HubSpot integration right now, Service Monster integration, Jobber integration, and soon they will all show up here. And if you have them, great, right? Come here like PestPack or go high level, Metapixel. I can click on it and I can simply just set that up. Now it's going to be really, really important because when it comes to calendars and getting that all set up, this is how we're going to connect your external calendar into Local Business Pro as this integration page, which we're going to do tomorrow, okay? So that's kind of the rest of the settings in Local Business Pro, right? We've got the notifications, we've got how to train your team on the Knowledge Center, you learned about outbound and how to get that set up and everything like that. But how do we get your team on board, right? How do we make it so your team really understands like what this is and how it works? It's actually really, really simple. And the way that we're going to suggest doing it is actually being very transparent with your team, right? So I can't remember if I've told this story in this challenge yet, but there is one business that was thinking, hey, we're only missing like 40 calls a month. And their office staff was like, I don't know if we need this. Like, this doesn't make any sense for us. And because of the 14-day free trial, I was like, guys, it's risk-free, right? If your team is answering the phone, awesome, right? Then you prove that you don't need it. If your team's not answering the phone, then you uncover a gap in your business and you should use it, right? And so the way we approached it with their team, they were very hesitant, is we simply outlined all the other responsibilities that they're doing besides talking to customers, right? And so for some of you guys, that might be collections, billing, routing. That might be things like cleaning, ordering inventory. That might be things like if they're running any strategy meetings, if they have customers walking into the store as well. There's all these other things. And if you can highlight that list to your customers, it's going to be huge because they're going to be like, okay, so answering the phone is only one part of my job. And then the next thing you do is you simply just say, your job is really important, because it is. Like, you wouldn't have hired them. You wouldn't be spending all that money on them if it wasn't important. And so what Local Business Pro allows you to do is to be a pro, right? To answer the phone all the time with our always available system, whether it's a sales call, a current customer, and you can take care of it, right? So that way, if your office staff has a customer in front of them, they can let it go to voicemail and they don't have to pick up and say, hey, can I put you on hold for a minute? And have that customer waiting for 5 minutes for you to finish the call. And then when you pick up the phone back up, they've already left, right? That's the number 2 complaint with calling a business, is being put on hold, right? So you're able to allow your staff to focus on what's at hand, knowing that there's this always available system set up. So what team members really enjoy about that is they're like, oh, it helps me do my job better, right? And so if you have those notifications set up for them and you teach them how to use the conversations page, they're going to love it, because they're going to be like, okay, there's all this stuff that I didn't realize I was missing, and I can actually handle it, right? So that business I was telling you guys about, they thought they were only missing 30 phone calls. Ends up they were missing close to 300, 10 times more than they thought. And it created so much more work for their team, because now all of the customers are calling in to say like, hey, can we add this to my route? Or can I add this service to my route, creating more revenue for the business? It made it so that the office staff would call the customer back and say, hey, we got your message. This is awesome. We'd love to add it. And they would go and update the records, right? And so it just made it to where everything was being captured and things weren't being missed. So in your email and on this page, we actually have some charts, some documents that you can fill out, some workbooks to what are all the responsibilities for your current team members and why AI voice is not replacing their job, right? And what they're going to be doing instead, right? And how this is a backup for that voicemail. So if you guys have any questions or concerns about that, if any of your team wants to hop on and talk to us about it, we'd love to. We have a ton of data, a ton of case studies over here, because really, we want to help you become a absolutely professional local small business. And the way you do that is taking care of your customers and capturing every sales opportunity that comes your way. And we believe that is with AI voice replacing the voicemail. Okay, guys, so easy day for number 3, just more information about what's going on in your account. The homework is test the AI receptionist. At this point, you should be up to 10 test calls from 10 different people, okay? After day 3, when you go out and test it, that number should be 20. So from day 2 to day 3, you did 10. You're gonna do 10 more calls here. Keep going in and tweaking it, okay? Tomorrow, we're going to set up your phone system. Sorry, we're gonna do your calendar so we can start scheduling and making sure that that works. And then we're gonna do your phone system, and we're gonna actually turn it on here by day 5, and that's going to leave you 5 days, right? 5 business days, and 9 total days for your system to start capturing appointments from these missed calls. So I'm pretty excited about that, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.